Hello, and welcome back to Factorio. Those of you who have been watching me for a while know that I've recently ended a big world. And I have a sneaking suspicion that part of the UPS drain on that big world was fluids. It's particularly oil. What I was wondering was, could we do the core fluid processing right by the oil well? So the point of this is really to cut down the number of fluid entities, the pipes, the tanks, all that jazz. And in the extreme case, literally have an oil well that goes into a refinery, which then does a complete refining process. Ideally with virtually no fluids. So I'm in a creative world. I have explored with a creative radar, found a patch of oil, and then I have killed all the biters with a console command. And we are here. So here is a nice oil well. So let us start by putting down a pump. And I genuinely don't know how many pumps we need to do this, but we will find out. Okay, so let's get a stack of pumps. Okay, and now I have no mining upgrades at the moment. So this is kind of a worst case scenario type situation here. Okay, so we would speed module this. And normally you put down, let's get some beacons. Right. Normally, you would put down loads of pumps, and you would beacon as much as you could. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that the efficient way to do it is to have the minimum number of pumps on the minimum number of oil wells, and to beacon them into next week. So that's what we are going to try. So pumps produce pressurized oil. So we can put that directly into an underground pipe. There we are. And we could make this a long pipe, because whether it's short or long, it's the same cost. Okay, let's put a substation in there. Now I'll power this up in a minute, but for now I don't want to, because I don't want to get fluid in pipes. Okay, now let's get a refinery. Let's see if we can line this all up. There we are, refinery. And this, there. Okay. So let's get some normal pipes. Here we are. And then we probably need more than one refinery. Then we need some water. Do I have a mod installed that does water? Yeah, I have water fill. Okay. So I think we could get a water pump, because this is all about UPS. Okay, let's get some more water fill. Right, that didn't replace on use. Okay, is this going to fit in? Maybe I need to pull up the other. Okay, let's try again. Water fill. there. Okay, then can we get this arrangement? Okay, landfill. Okay, so the water pump then turns into a water well pump. You can't craft a water well pump, but if you landfill in a water pump, it turns into a water well pump. So you can see I'm playing fast and loose here with the game mechanics to do this, but this is basically how we're going to roll. Okay, so that is some modules. I think we can fit more modules than that around this, and I'm wondering if we take these out. Okay, let's remove that and that. No, that's still not going to line up, is it? But perhaps it lines up better. Yeah, perhaps that lines up better. Okay, so after all that work, let's rip this up. Because although we're talking like after endgame type solutions here, we are still wanting to be a little bit mindful of resources. Okay, is that, yeah, that's right on the edge of those beacons. Okay, so that would go there. Let's get the water fill. There. Fill it all in. Okay, so we can go on to the next refinery. Then we set this recipe, advanced oil processing. Awesome. And I genuinely have no idea how well we are going to be doing here for pushing fluid out. Okay. So there we are. That's our arrangement. Now, the outputs of this are 55 petroleum, 45 heavy, and 10 light. And so the light oil, there's no volume, right? So we can just jump that out. We don't care about that. We want the other fluids to be that way round because the petroleum, there's the most of it. So that needs to be the one which does the least travel, so that the pipes can maintain throughput. Okay, so that's our first item. Okay, so this can consume 10k oil. Which is pretty awesome. And I have no idea what this produces. 8.3 per second, but I don't know what that means, to be honest. Okay, so let's get this all powered. Okay, so we can put a yep, there. Apologies for the beeps. I did something ridiculous and talked to someone on Facebook about science, and now they're upset. All right, let's get some power. Put that right on the end. Great. So that's going pretty well, right? That's producing oil. That has filled this up with 200 oil. Okay, so let's take out this, take out this. We're just going to put in fluid sinks for now. So fluid sinks eat. Is it that way around? I can never remember which way around these go. That's it. Okay, so these eat whatever goes in. So this is running full speed. This is not running full speed. Okay. Right, so we need to put prop mods in this, which will slow it down a little. We're not far off though, are we? I reckon if we had a second oil, that would be enough. Okay, so can we find a place where this lines up? Let's take that. So that would be lining it up. Although that wouldn't work very well, would it? Oh, that happens to be... I kind of want two, which are offset by one beacon. So I want something like that. Or that. Yeah, that. Okay, so let's get a blueprint of that and see if we can find a solution. This is becoming very specific, but in a large oil field, you probably can find something like this. Maybe you can't. No, let's find a different way to do it then. So what we need is 2 oil wells feeding into the refinery. And they need to be in a 12 beacon setup. Okay. Okay, so that's 2 12 beacon oil wells. Now, will this work? Let's take that. Okay, so we're not far off. I need to move all the beacons to the right. Now that we've got this blueprint, is there anywhere else that this will fit? let's rip up some of this. Okay. I'm looking for 2 in a row. Right, there's 2 in a row there. Nope. Okay, it looks like this is the place. Let's put that down again. Okay, except let's get rid of all the pipes and stuff. Okay, we will rip up the cage. Put it back down 1 over. That. Okay. Let's grab this. There. Pull that up. Yep. Then we'll do our water fill magic. Okay, I need a pump. Then we can landfill. Then we have an issue here. All right, if I took that away, that would go there. Okay, so I'm kind of over-engineering to this specific case here. If we did this in the wild, we'd arrange this better. But I sort of don't care right now. Okay, so let's put the power source back in. Okay. This doesn't, as far as I can tell, ever stall. This doesn't stall. This doesn't stall. So, we can run an entire refinery off just 2 oil pumps with slight stalling. Well, if they're stalling, obviously what we do is we add another refinery. Okay, let's grab this. So can we put one of those there? Oh, I water filled myself. That's unfortunate. Right, let's run down and see if we can find the body. I hope we're down here. There's a radar. Ah, I think I see it. And I didn't turn off cliffs. Okay, cool. So, this time, not water fill me. Okay. That. That. I'm wondering if there's a better way to arrange these fluid sinks so that I don't have to keep extending things. Yeah, there is, isn't there? Okay. Take these away. There. Okay, then we can put the fluid sinks directly on here and here. Yep. Okay, then we can keep extending the refineries down. There we are. Let's put that down there, which we can't do because we need to landfill. There we are. Okay. Then these already point downwards. Okay, so this second refinery is not quite going, but let's look at our productivity. Okay, so we are consuming 12k, let's go up to 1 minute. Right, that hasn't quite burnt in yet. And up we go. Brilliant. So we are producing 8.8, 9, 8.8, 8.9, 9k. 9k of petroleum, 7.4 of heavy and 1.6 of light, 12k-ish of crude. We are consuming all the crude. And this has the potential to do 20k. So we are running this at slightly over half, which means we need another 1 or 2 pump jacks. But I think basically we have proven the point. We can use 12 beacon pump jacks, as insane as that sounds. Believe me, it sounds insane to me. And with 12 beacon pump jacks, we can power the refineries directly from the pump jacks, which means that we are basically zeroing out most of our pipes and fluids overhead. Cool. So I think basically this was a proof of principle. Principle is proven. So the thing to do from this would be to come up with an entire refinery design, which you can feed from here, and get it ratioed out. But that's all pretty much make work. You can figure that out. So you can imagine setting up a refinery here, which basically is just this plus the right. So then you would have heavy to solid, is that good? Or light to solid? Yeah, you'd have light to solid. You'd have potentially heavy to lubricant if you do the lubricant on site. Then everything else would go, no, I don't think you want to do lubricant here, do you? So you would do heavy to light cracking, light to solid, light to petroleum. You would, let's get some of these, just so that we've got a visual display of all the things that you would need to do. Right, then you would have petroleum barreling, you would have heavy barreling, and you would have rocket fuel from the solid. Right, and then that's it. So then at the engines, you'd have heavy unbarreling into lubricant into electric engines. And you can pipeline that pretty much direct. And these can be carried around on a train if needed, which means that there's no fluid sloshing around. Petroleum. What is petroleum needed for? Okay, so we have plastic production, obviously. Where is that? Okay, plastic happens in a chemical plant. Plastic, okay, which needs petroleum. Then we have sulfur, which is petroleum, but hardly any sulfur gets made. And then we have sulfuric acid takes the sulfur. Explosives isn't needed for anything. That takes sulfur though. Batteries, sulfuric acid. Yeah, so that's it. Plastic is a tricky one because you take in coal to make plastic. So you would need to supply coal with trains to a site where you had petroleum. However, and my experience is when you set up 12 beacon builds for plastic production, you can't actually supply them with barrels. You have to shift too many barrels. So what I'm thinking is on the refinery site, you would make the plastic at the refinery. You would barrel a small amount of petroleum and ship that off with trains to where you need sulfuric acid. So you would make the sulfur and the sulfuric acid as part of those builds. You would barrel and ship off the heavy oil to go to your engine build. And then you take off your light oil that you're not cracking to turn it into solid fuel and rocket fuel. So this would have 0 inputs because you're taking the oil out the ground and the water out the ground. And you would have trains leaving here taking heavy oil barrels, plastic, and rocket fuel. That's 3 outbound trains, which is totally manageable. I think this is a winner. So I reckon if we were to ratio this out exactly and do it in, for example, 1K builds, so a big enough build for a 1K rocket launch with satellite, then that would be the way to go. I'm going to end this episode here. This was very much a proof of principle, can you build it type idea, but yes, you can. Can you build it? Yes, you can. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoy these kind of blue skies episodes. If you do, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.